Well, hello, everyone, and welcome to this episode of Next to None podcast. I have some very, very special guests here today, and I'm excited for you to meet them. These people I love with my absolute whole heart. These are my sisters, Angela Herbal Mitchell and
Hello.
Samantha Zerneski.
Hi.
So Samantha is why we are on this podcast today together. Um, a year plus so ago, we started a nonprofit, and I want Samantha, who is the founder of this nonprofit, to share a little bit about the nonprofit. And then Angela, who is the president of the board, will also share some information. So, Samantha, tell us about PJ's People. What is it? Why did we start it? And what does it do?
Sure. So in 2014, my husband and I, Zach, had a daughter named Paisley. And when she was born, we found out she had Charge syndrome. And at that time, we had never heard of it. We had no clue what it was. And so the next 3 months, she spent some time in the NICU. And while all this is going on, we also had a 1-year-old at home as well. So we were busy, we were stressed, we were in survival mode. And during that time and the years that followed, we were in and out of the hospital for various things. We were at doctor's appointments and therapies and just doing all the things to give Paisley all the opportunity and all the things that she needed at that time. And so during that time, we were very fortunate and blessed to have a lot of support, not just from our family and our friends, but we also had a lot of support from our community. So that's kind of where PJ's People comes into play. We were just, like I said, we had a lot of support and we wanted to be able to give back to the community. So we started PJ's People so that we could raise awareness and educate others on Charge syndrome, as well as raise money and funds for other families who were going through similar situations, whether that's they had a child or children in and out of the hospital, or they had different medical needs, or maybe they need a device of some sort. Like, for example, Paisley, our daughter, she's hearing impaired. So she uses a hearing aid and she's had a few of those throughout her life. So we just wanted to be able to give back and to help support other families, whether that's financially, through prayer, through whatever the case might be. This is kind of our way to do that because, like I said, we were very fortunate, but not everybody has that. So that's kind of where PJ's People came from.
I love it. So, a lot of people, when I talk with them about Charge syndrome, have no idea what it is. I know
Mhm.
it's an acronym of some sort, but will you share with the listeners kind of like a little bit more about Charge syndrome?
Sure. So Charge syndrome is a syndrome that happens when there's a mutation in, I believe it's like the CHD7 gene, and it just causes different birth defects, basically. And it's different case by case basis. So each letter of the word charge, if you Google it, you'll notice that it is all capitalized, and it's because that each letter stands for something. And it's not, so it stands for some of the most common birth defects that you will see in a kiddo or a person with Charge syndrome. For example, you'll see a lot of cases where there is heart issues or respiratory issues, hearing impairment. You can have colobomas in one or both of the eyes. And so there's just a long list of different birth defects that you can see that are common in someone who has Charge syndrome.
Great. Thank you for sharing that. I know that it's so funny. I was like, when I'm talking about this with some of the people that I network with, I'm like, yeah, we have a fundraiser. My niece Paisley has Charge syndrome. They're like, what's that? I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It's like an acronym or something, but I don't know what it means, but I'll look it up
Yeah.
for you.
Yeah. It, in a nutshell, the quick version is it's just a handful of common birth defects. And so they just kind of, honestly, what we learned really early on was when they first started doing research and stuff with Charge syndrome, they didn't know what it was because they had different, like this case, this person could have this going on, but this one could be totally different. Like we have met people along the way who have children who are a lot more medically involved. Like maybe they have a trach to help them breathe, or maybe they're in a wheelchair because their muscle tone is so low. It really is a wide spectrum. And so you'll just see different severities of things as you kind of Google or meet other people with chart syndrome.
Yeah. Yeah. I gotta say, Paisley is a force to be reckoned with for sure.
Yes, she is.
She is not afraid to tell you what she wants, and but she's got a heart of gold. She just loves
Mm-hmm.
people, and she's such a sweetheart. And um, I love her a lot. But you know, I'm her Mimi, Aunt Mimi, so you know, it's okay. Um, so Angela, tell us a little bit about the nonprofit from kind of the business side of things. And I know we did a fundraiser last year. We're going to be doing some fundraisers this year, and tell us a little bit about those things.
Yeah, sure. So last year we had an awesome first event. We actually were able to raise over $10,000 just in that one event, which was just mind-boggling. I think we were all very surprised at how good of a turnout it was. So we were able to raise over $10,000, which was awesome. We had 29 sponsors for that event alone. Our goal this year is to hopefully be around 35. So we're hoping to grow, obviously. We do have another cornhole tournament coming up, cornhole and silent auction, April 12th. Everybody's more than welcome to come down. Even if you don't play cornhole, come celebrate with us. Just celebrate Paisley and helping to raise the funds that we need to be able to help other families. So this last year, we were able to provide a loaner device, and a loaner hearing device, $5,200 to the Moog Center in Creve Coeur, Missouri. We know that Paisley had a lot of her hearing. Samantha, correct me if I'm wrong, but a lot of her hearing therapy and the physical therapy and occupational therapy and all of that. Really kind of the closest location was all the way down in Creve Coeur, Missouri. That's a long drive, that's a lot of gas money, and other kids in our area that our parents are looking at the same thing. They have to drive down to the city to get the care that their children need. So we're even interested in helping with that kind of situation, getting transportation, that kind of thing. So yeah, we were able to provide a new loaner equipment. I believe she's the lady we talked to at the Moog Center. She is keeps us up to date. It's kind of nice that when it gets used, she kind of lets us know, hey, I just want to let you guys know it's being used. She can't tell us who or anything, but that's okay. It just it gives you a little more what's the word? A little more steam and what you're doing to hear that it's being used. But this loaner hearing equipment is actually for like the kiddos whose hearing devices are broken and they need something for the next week until their new one arrives or until it gets fixed. And our main focus for us personally, because we are in a more rural area, we don't have a lot of the support systems in some of these smaller communities. So one thing that we do focus on is staying in the money that we're giving back. We want to be able to give back to, Warren, Lincoln, and Montgomery counties. Those were the areas that people really stepped up for Samantha and Zach. And, we would like to continue trying to give back to those areas. But being that it's a rural area, like I was saying, it's a long drive to Creve Coeur. It's a long drive to Columbia from where we're from, and it's kind of hard. It's expensive to drive back and forth every single day to all these different appointments, and the physical therapy and and so we're just trying to come up with the ideas and get our name out there so that we are able to raise the funds to be able to help these people. So, so we do have go ahead.
I was going to say, don't we have another fundraiser also in the fall?
We do actually. In August 23rd, we are having a barbecue competition and car show that will be coming up. So we're really excited about that. The Elks Lodge here in Warrenton, Missouri, graciously has decided to work with us. So I love cars. I have cars. I know nothing about running a car show. So I'm very thankful that some of the guys there have stepped up and said, you know what, we're going to help you through this. We're going to do everything we can to help you guys through this. So, and they've already said that they would be donating all profits back to us, which is just a blessing all in itself. So August 23rd, you'll be seeing that information being put out here in the next 2 weeks, probably. But yeah, we're going to go through our cornhole tournament and silent auction that we're really excited about. We got some really awesome auction items already being donated, which is just amazing. So yeah.
Yeah, if somebody's interested in being a sponsor for PJ's People in general, or for an event, you can go to pjspeople.com and there's information on there about sponsorships. There's also information currently right now about the cornhole and silent auction. And then once we get more information for the car show and barbecue competition, can't say the word, it'll also be on there. So again, it was pjspeople.com. And yeah, I mean, it's so easy for businesses to sponsor things like this, and it goes to it goes directly to families. It's not a large organization that has overhead. Nobody in the nonprofit's paid. We don't take any money. Everything goes back into the nonprofit, and then it gets dispersed as we have our processes for that. Samantha, tell us more about your family.
My family. Okay. So my husband and I have been married since 2011. We were high school sweethearts, and we have three pretty awesome kids. We have our oldest son, William, who just turned 12, Paisley, who is about to turn 11, which is absolutely crazy. And our youngest son, Sawyer, he is 8, and we are busy all the time. They're all involved in something. We have 4-H, we have sports of all kinds. We love to be outside, and we're just, I don't know, we're busy. They keep us on our toes for sure. But we've always we've been very fortunate. I know I've said that a lot of times when it comes to the support. But we also have never limited Paisley to anything. Whatever she wants to do, we are there supporting her. We are there helping her figure out a way to make it work for her. And with that being said, a lot of the attention, whatever you want to call it, that Paisley has had over the years, in some way, shape, or form is related to charge syndrome, or is related to a doctor's appointment, or this or that. So it's really important for us to try to get her involved in whatever it is she wants to do. And we've also, her brothers are their brothers, so they can be little stinkers, don't get me wrong, but they are some of the sweetest, kindest, most accepting kiddos out there. And a lot of, like I said, a lot of the attention our family has gotten has, not all of it, but a lot of it has come in the form of Paisley some way, So they're just kind of there supporting her. And we're just very lucky to have the kids that we have. I know most parents say that, but I feel very blessed.
So Samantha, like, I know you talked about the challenges that you guys had when Paisley was born,
Mm-hmm.
and talk a little bit about the challenges that you have now. So she's almost 11, but there still are
Yeah.
challenges that come along with that.
Yes. So from day one, Paisley has been in therapy of some sort. When she was born, her muscle tone was very, very low. So she's been in physical therapy her whole life. She's been in occupational therapy her whole life, speech therapy. I'm sure I'm forgetting some, but she has outgrown a lot of things. Like as she's gotten older, some things have gotten easier, but also it's opening doors into other things that, she's old enough now where the tests that they do, they're able to get more data. So they're able to have more accurate information. So, we still have our doctor's appointments that we go to. They seem to have slowed down there the last couple of years, but now, like I said, she's getting older, so she's able to answer questions more accurately or perform whatever test more accurately. So it's opening up more information so that we're able to get her whatever the help she might need. We're able to get that stuff. So she is, like I said, she's outgrown a lot. When she was younger, like I want to say the first 2 or 3 years of her life, as I mentioned before, respiratory or airway issues is a very common birth defect, I guess you would call it, for Charge syndrome. And that is the case for Paisley as well. Her airway is smaller than your typical 10, 11-year-old. And that's been the case her whole life. So a common cold for you or I, or another typical kiddo at whatever age she was, would get, they'd get a cough or some drainage, some junky, nasty stuff. For Paisley, that was a 7 to 10 day hospital stay every single time, because sure, her airway just physically did not have the room to breathe, to have the drainage or any kind of swelling. So thankfully, that is something she has outgrown as she's physically gotten bigger. So, she has had her fair share of obstacles, but she continues to overcome them time and time again. And with the best attitude, she hardly ever complains, and she is funny. If you need a laugh, talk to Paisley Joe, because she keeps you on your toes. You never know what's going to come out of her mouth, which sometimes is scary as her mother. But I say all the time that I want to be Paisley when I grow up, because she is just fearless. She is full of joy. She is Paisley, and she loves herself, and she does not care what people think. And I just think some of those qualities are so great, and I would love to have those. So
she's
just a cool kid. Yeah, she is.
She's so confident.
She's always got questions. It doesn't matter where we're at. She's going to start asking you questions, and if don't she stop for a minute.
Yeah, and if she doesn't ask you a question and you ask her one, you better be ready, because she's going to give you the absolute truth.
Absolutely.
And you guys, it starts first thing in the morning. Like every morning we're getting ready for school, and I'll be like, okay, let me finish whatever I'm doing real quick. And so she's standing there just, brushing her hair, and out of the blue, it's like, Mom, did you know that we could go only 3 days without water? And then she just goes into an explanation of why. And that's an easy one. Sometimes she stumps me, and my answer is, Paige, it's 7 a.m. I am finishing my coffee, and then maybe I could think a little bit. Like she is all the time.
Yes, she is, but she's amazing. So where do you guys see the nonprofit growing to? Like, what's the big vision for for PJ's people?
For me, I would like to see us trying to help as many families as possible. I would love to get to the point where we're giving away, $2,000 grants a year would be amazing. I mean, I know that's kind of a short term, big picture, but I also am a big believer of day by day. So I just keep going thinking, okay, well, if we can do it this time, what can we do next time to make it bigger and to help more kids, more people? So that's kind of where my mind's at. That you know, get more people involved, get more volunteers, get the word out there about charge syndrome and what it is. No, we're not necessarily just focusing on children with charge syndrome. We're more just looking for children, or trying to help children that have physical disabilities. But the reason why we started this really was for the education part of it, because let me tell you, when Samantha called us all to tell us that Paisley had charge syndrome and she's in the hospital, we all went, what? What is she, what happened? What does she have? And I think every single one of us at that point did a whole lot of research, but, so kind of, getting the word out there about charge syndrome, as well as, trying to raise the funds to help the kiddos. That's the big picture I think that's our big picture for us.
Yeah. And like Angela kind of mentioned earlier, is out in these rural areas, there's not a lot of resources. Like, we were driving to the St. Louis area 3 to 4 times a week for years to take Paisley to preschool, and that was at the Moog Center in the Creve Coeur area. And we were going there because they specialize in that. So, all of her audiology needs were met there. They were doing very, I can't even think of the word, but speech therapy, like that. It was a world in which everybody there on staff knew how to, like, the little things that you really don't think about until, like for me, until I had a kiddo who has a hearing impairment, talking directly to people so they can read your lips if they read lips, or putting simple things like putting tennis balls on the bottom of chairs in the classroom so that when they slide across the floor, they're not getting all the feedback in their hearing aid. Just everybody on staff there had that training and experience. And so for me and Zach, that is one of our biggest goals, is to find ways to educate. Like Angela said, it's not, yes, we do want to educate and teach people about charge syndrome, but also things like that. Like with our local school district, we've really had to speak up and advocate for Paisley for those little things and it's no fault to the teachers or the school district. It's just, they don't have a lot of experience with kiddos with hearing loss or with a hearing aid. There are other kids, don't get me wrong, but like I said, the little things like the tennis balls on the bottom of the chairs, or putting them in a spot in the room where they can see directly the teacher's mouth when they're talking, just stuff like that. And so for us, that is a big goal, is educating the community. And if there is a way that we can help a family get the services they need that might not be provided in our area or Warren County or, the surrounding areas, that is something that we really want to hopefully continue to do, and bring those resources into those communities.
That's awesome. So let me ask this question. This is going to cause you, Samantha, to dream very big.
Okay.
If someone donated $1 million tomorrow,
Ooh.
What would you see that being used for? And what would that do for PJ's people?
That would be huge for PJ's people. For a lot of reasons. One of those, like I just said, educating the school systems, and just, even if that means bringing someone on staff who specializes, or even contracting them out, specializing in hearing impairment, so they can go in like a consult type spot, go into these classrooms and be like, okay, here are some things. Or if something goes wrong with their hearing aid at school, they have somebody who can help them, because the teachers are just, they don't know. And like I said, no fault to theirs. They just don't know. So that would be amazing. Being able to provide, like I said, hearing devices or a medical device of some sort to these families, or even paying off some medical bills for these families, because I can tell you firsthand, it's never ending. And it's a lot, and it's heavy. And in today's world, there's not a whole lot of assistance there. I think it would be really cool to be able to, you think of like the Make-A-Wish Foundation type thing, where they are able to provide a trip or whatever the case might be, but on a smaller, more local level. I don't know.
I think
The list goes on and on and on.
How fun would it be if we could provide like a summer camp, for kids that are in the same situation that you guys are in,
Yeah.
And even not just the kids but also their siblings who also carry the burden.
Yes.
A lot of times people focus on the child that has the struggles, and the siblings of that child often suffer as well, because your time, what you had to focus a lot of time on Paisley, and where the boys, they didn't feel neglected, but you might have felt like you were neglecting them because you were spending so much time with Paisley. I don't know.
That parent guilt is real.
Yeah. I'm like, what about a summer day camp? Like, what about a summer camp? Like
that would be amazing.
I mean, that would be so cool. I think sometimes, many nonprofits, they don't think that big, because they're like, oh, well, we're never going to get the money for those types of things. But what if, why not have a plan? Why not have a plan?
It would be cool to be able to, open up a location, something similar to the Moog Center, closer out to where we are. That would be huge.
Used to have a location in Columbia
really
years ago, which is still a drive. It's still a drive, but it's less of a drive than it is to, the St. Louis area. But, it is my understanding that it was like a resource thing, or the client. I'm not sure if they had enough to keep it going. I think it was more resource related. Don't quote me. It was a long time ago when they told me about that. But there's so many things that I, in an unlimited resource world, that I think would be really, really cool. But Amy, you're right. I just think having those dreams and not limiting ourselves or PJ's people is really important, because I'll be honest, when we first started talking about this, Zach and I's biggest goal was to provide a hearing device for a family who needed it, or to the Moog Center.
Boom,
and the fact that
the first year.
I know, I still have a hard time grasping that. It just seems so surreal. And in a world where there's a lot of darkness, and you turn the news on and it's just not happy, it's very refreshing, and it just brings us so much joy to know that there's still so much good in the world. And I feel like that's one thing PJ's People is doing, which is what Paisley Joe does. She just brings so much happiness and joy. So I just hope that we're able to do that. Yeah.
One thing I did want to make sure I threw out there is we are doing a gun raffle. Gun raffle tickets are for sale. The information will be on the website tomorrow, as well as our Facebook page. So if you are interested in purchasing any kind of raffle tickets, the two guns that we will be raffling off is a Ruger 1022 rifle, and that does come with the scope and case, as well as a Smith & Wesson. What is it? Smith & Wesson.
A 9.
It's a Smith & Wesson M&P So it's both of them super, super nice. It's a 9 mil. So if you are interested in any of those, purchasing those tickets, be watching our website as well as our Facebook page for those.
I have to say,
Yes.
I've been so impressed with some of the businesses and the things that they've donated and how they're
Yes.
Yes.
helping the nonprofit. And just first of all, thank you so much if you're listening. We just really appreciate that you see the need to help the community and help the nonprofit that's going to then in turn PJ's people helping other people.
Mhm.
We're just so thankful for that. Okay. Um, Angela, talk very quickly about sponsorships. Like, what if someone wants to be a sponsor for the event? What do they do?
So you can go to our website. The information's on there regarding sponsorships. You can also contact me directly if you have questions. Our email address is pjspeoplellc@gmail.com, even though we're not an LLC. I just haven't changed it. So
We're working out some bugs.
But you can always contact us on there. You can contact us on our Facebook. My phone number is also on all of the Facebook and website, so don't hesitate to reach out to me. We have quite a few different levels of sponsorship available. We have an annual one since we're doing multiple events this year. So if you're wanting to do a annual sponsorship for the 2025 events, those options are on there as well. But yeah, so we're super excited about everything and where everything has been going, and yeah, that's probably going to be the best way to get a hold of me is probably through email. I do work all day. Just like everybody else.
Yep.
So it's, yeah.
What's another way that people can help? They can donate silent auction items, right?
Oh yeah.
Mhm.
Oh yeah.
So what are some silent auction items that you guys are looking for this April 12th event?
So I mean, anything. Do you have baskets? We are still looking for a couple big ticket items. So whether it be I know Blackstone grills were big for a while there, and
Mhm.
things like that. Something that everybody would want. Families, I know I personally am putting together a cigar and whiskey basket because I know that's something the guys are going to enjoy. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So yeah, there's just anything you are willing to donate. We're not going to turn away because I feel like that's what we're here for. We're going to take it and we're going to turn it into something positive. So
yeah, I mean, like if you want to donate something like a trip for someone to go for, a weekend getaway, or maybe you just want to give the money and then we go take care of buying
yeah.
the finding the Airbnb or the bed and breakfast or
Mhm.
whatever it might be. There's so many
Absolutely.
options. And, like today I had a business owner, the personal gifting company in Forestell. They donated a basket for a massage and some other things. She does beautiful work, by the way.
Mhm.
But, she's going to do that. And there's other businesses that are giving other things, sports memorabilia,
Mhm.
Yep.
collector type things.
Last year we had um, a jersey signed by Brady Cook. That was one of our silent auction items. Um, we've had local farmers in the area and local businesses that are providing product that is from their farm, whether that be a meat package. We've had people donating. Like last year, we had a really cool gun safe type of thing that the front was woodwork and it was the American flag. And we've had all over the place, just random things donated, but it all turned out to be really cool things.
Yes. Yes.
And so, like Angela said, we're pretty open, we're accepting whatever it is that people are willing to donate because we have so many different kinds of people that end up coming out to this event that we learned that last year. So
Yes, we did.
And
we
also do have, like Amy kind of mentioned, sometimes people just want to donate money. and that is an option as well. And we are very thankful for that also. So like Angela said, if there's any questions anybody has, the information that she gave about the email address, which is PJ's People LLC at gmail.com, right?
Yes, that's right.
Or you can go to the website and just do contact us, and it will automatically send to her.
Yes,
absolutely.
Or you can find us on Facebook as well. We are on Facebook, and we are pretty attentive to that as well. So we are here for any questions that anybody might have or suggestions.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, we don't always, none of us think we have it right, but we're doing our best.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah. So, I just want to share just a real quick thing. Like, so this is a family affair. So nephews, nieces, husbands, my mom, all of our siblings, we all are helping with this event. The day of, we show up early, we get everything set up. And our older sister, she runs, her and her husband run Warren County Cornhole. Am I saying that right? Warren County Cornhole, which is a ongoing thing. I don't know. Are they like a?
It is. It's like a club, kind of.
Club. Sorry.
Yeah, it is. It's like a club. So they meet every Thursday to throw bags. And then Allison and Corey with Warrenton Cornhole, Allison, our sister, they also do tournaments for other people. So they will go and set up tournaments at different fundraisers as well to help other groups do the same thing. So they're pretty awesome. They make it easy for you.
This is totally a family affair. We want to support Samantha and Zach's dream of this nonprofit. And then also we want to support Paisley and other families. Like, we have a very large family. So Zach and Samantha are never without support and help.
Nope.
But you know, some families don't have that. And this is a great organization that can help those families.
Well, we have a lot of, the day of, usually we have a lot of friends come and volunteer and help during that day.
Yes.
I know we already have a list going of people that are begging to come up and help out, and begging to come up and meet Paisley because they've heard so much about her. So I know that there's a lot of people. We had quite a few last year, but this year we do have a lot of volunteers. And I know that at the Elks Lodge for the event in August, we're going to have a ton of volunteers then too. So it makes you feel good knowing that you're doing the right thing because other people are coming up saying, I want to help. I want to do something. So,
and this is where the name PJ's People came from. When we started talking about this, and by the way, this was something we all kind of just started chit-chatting about. And then within a couple months had this fundraiser up and going, the cornhole tournament in silent auction last year. But my husband and I were just sitting there and I was like, Zach, what do we call this? Like, what do we, and he just super nonchalantly is like, well, what about PJ's People? I mean, if it wasn't for PJ's People, we wouldn't be, like where we are. I was like, oh my gosh, I love that so much. Because he's right. It's like all PJ's People coming together for a good cause. So it just, the way that everything has come together is pretty awesome. So.
Great. So again, if you're interested in learning more about helping and donating, sponsoring, or just attending the events, go to pjspeople.com. And thank you guys for coming on. I'm glad that you guys took time to listen to this podcast to learn more about Charge Syndrome and PJ's People. And we hope to see you at our event on April 12th. And then again in the fall for the car show on August 23rd. So make sure you watch the website and on our social media. And we look forward to seeing you there. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.